Oh, hey. Hopefully you enjoyed the Zoom call. Hopefully you got to know me, and if you're fifth or sixth period, you got to know Ms. Corbett a little bit more. And now is my time to just tell you a little bit of what to expect this year. And let me say the first, bear with us because these next 2 weeks and maybe more are going to be a little rough. There are going to be time where our internet goes down or we don't realize you're in the waiting room and we're going to have to adjust. So I'm going to have to be patient with y'all. Y'all are going to have to be patient with me. But here's what's going to come out of that. I believe we're going to have fun. I believe you're going to learn things that you never really thought are important, but are somewhat interesting if you come in with an open mind. This is not just history, it's history of the United States. All right? And it's important. Whether you watch the news or not, you somewhat understand what's going on in the world today and what's going on in this nation. History is important for you to understand why. Because to understand where we are now, you need to understand where we have been. All right? You're going to learn about the early part of the U.S. history from the very beginning to the Civil War. And a lot of our problems of today come from that period. Let me make you understand this in a way you may have never thought of before. Currently, Black Lives Matter, the movement, is dominating the news, rightfully so. But the Black Lives Matter movement is a rebirth of the Civil Rights Movement. And the Civil Rights Movement was a rebirth of the abolitionist movement, which was a movement to abolish slavery. Let me give you another example. The Me Too movement that has been around for the last almost 4 years now is a rebirth of the women's rights movement from the 70s. And that movement was a rebirth of the women's suffrage movement, which was the fight to get women the right to vote, which we just celebrated the 100-year anniversary. So, ladies and gentlemen, your mothers, grandmothers, your sisters, they have only had the right to vote in this nation for 100 years. The oldest person in America is 116. So there are people still alive today, there are women that were born into this country without the right to vote. Why am I telling you all this? Because we're going to learn American history this year, one way or another. And you're going to learn about everything. You're going to learn about the good and the bad and the ugly and the stuff that just is going to make you proud. Because America, the story of America is not just a shining example to the world for the good reasons, it's also for the bad reasons. The one thing that gives me hope for this country and the one thing that hopefully I'll instill into you with us learning about U.S. history is that the true power of America doesn't come from doing the right thing constantly. It's doing the wrong thing but learning from it. It's the ability to constantly change. And sometimes that change is very slow. Sometimes it takes years. But the one thing I can tell you for sure with that history book on that shelf up there is that change does happen. All right. So we're going to be talking about where a lot of these problems of today come from. And I hope you enjoyed the trip we go on. I hope you come out of this class with a little bit more respect for history and a little bit open-mindedness to the world you live in today and a little bit more appreciation of where you live now. Because hopefully you understand that this nation is not perfect, but it's still a pretty good nation. And hopefully you come out with a little bit more hopefulness that change will happen. That being said, go ahead and finish out the rest of this survey. We'll use this and the survey you fill out during the Zoom call for attendance, and every day from on out, the survey you filled out in the beginning will be your attendance for the rest of this week. I look forward to seeing you all again tomorrow, and ciao.